I also wanted to talk about, when people say this person will never change.
Mm.
Well, I mean, in our relationship, we dated for 2 years, and we've been married for like 2 minutes. So,
For
um,
a while. Over here.
no, let's just say two
Okay.
minutes. Over here, really?
Leave it, leave it. Move on. Leave it and move on.
Okay. So when people talk about how people don't change, or people are scared about people not changing, what would be your response to that, given our relationship and what we have seen so far?
I think they're extremes.
Okay.
There are some times that yes, is believe it. When somebody shows you their character and it's something that you cannot handle,
Mm,
believe it and leave.
mm,
Things like abuse, I would always say is it's not something that you forgive and say I'm staying. If you guys are not married, even if you guys are married, it's not something that you just condone and be like, oh, he abuses me, he hits me, or she hits me, or she slaps me, or it's fine. I'm gonna say I don't think it's something that you should be believing. I mean, you should believe that he will change, but away, or she will change, but away from that person. Give yourself space and
mhm,
allow the person go to work on that person separately.
mhm,
Um, in times of infidelity, also, is something that you also need to believe. Believe that the person might not change, and give the person space.
mm,
If the person changes, let the person change in separation, like away from you. Let the person pray for the person and allow God to work on that person and let the person change. And then, but not that you stay in that situation. But other things like the way he chews or the way he, I don't know, leaves his plates on the table after eating, instead of putting them to the sink, or the way she likes to eat in the room, all those kind of things are things that can be worked on. Things that can be pardoned, that can be excused, that can be worked with patience. So I would say in those situations, I can say yes, people do change. I mean, I used to eat in the room all the time, but now I rarely ever do because it was something that you had to walk through because something that used to really irritate you, like why are you eating in the room? But it's a conversation that we had over and over and over until I realized, okay, he doesn't like this thing, and I'm gonna stop doing it. So yes, people do change. Yes, it's possible, but there are some extremes also that you need to believe and you need to give yourself space. What do you think about that?
Um, I think, like I mentioned earlier, the major tenet of Christianity is that people change. And this is one of the huge reasons why I would want somebody who I want to be with somebody who is a Christian or who has the same kind of core convictions as I do, because I believe that Jesus Christ is working in me and is also working in you as a person. So there isn't any single thing. Wow.
Sorry.
There isn't any single thing I find my partner doing that isn't subject to change,
Mm.
that God cannot work on, that God cannot, you know, move through. And so because of that, I'm usually more relaxed about certain things. And even if you notice our relationship, when we would talk about, okay, so what do you think I should work on or something, or what do you think I should change? I usually wouldn't say a lot much because I just believe that over time, as we keep pressing on and moving towards Jesus Christ, we just find ourselves neglecting certain things, certain actions. I remember before when we were dating, there are certain things that you would complain about, and I'm like, look, okay, right now, this is where I'm at with this thing, but this is not where I would always be. I would
Yeah.
change, and although it was hard for you, over time, I'm sure you started noticing the change, and even with you, I've seen.
I think it takes a lot of commitment though to a person, to the relationship, to be patient enough to wait until the person changes because that's asking a lot of them. I mean, it's different when you're married to say, oh, there's this issue and I'm patient with you to trust that you change because I cannot go anywhere anyway. But when you're dating, to be patient enough to wait for somebody to change, especially if it's something that's a big deal to you.
Mm,
Not talking about the extremes of infidelity or abuse, but
mhm,
in the little things. If it's something that really irritates you and you keep complaining about it all the time, the person keeps saying, I'll change, but it's not changing or it's not happening in the moment. I think it takes a lot of commitment to the relationship and patience with the person to say, okay, I will stay even though you have not changed yet.
Because what many people do that I find problematic is you see a person and you see a certain thing that they are doing, and all of a sudden you come into their lives and imagine that those things are going to change in like 1 year or 2 years. Because let's say this person is 25 years old, right? You guys start dating when you are 25, when the person is 25. This person will probably have been like this for 25 years. In fact, there are some things about the person may not know until you come in. And some habits or some things will not just vanish immediately. You need to, as a person, you need to give other people time and be gracious to them to grow and allow them learn.
No, I'm listening to you. How much time? I saw something on the
Oh,
Sorry. How much time is enough time? Because honestly, I can relate, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but I can relate to how stressful it can get when you are waiting on somebody to change. And I struggled a lot with that because it's like I want this thing to be done and I want it now. It's something that really irritates me, something that I need you to change. And I keep complaining about that. For us, we're together for 2 years before we got married. And I keep complaining and say, no, yeah, 2 years. 2 years and anyway, and I keep complaining about something, but that thing is just not changing. And how long is enough? How long do I have to wait to until that person changes? And then when do I receive the memo and say, okay, this person is never going to change and I can leave? Because I don't think there's a time limit you can give yourself. Like, okay, I'm gonna give this person 3 years, and if the person doesn't change, I'm gonna leave. Some people don't even have 3 years to wait on somebody to change. Some people, they literally need they want what they want, and they want it now. I think that's something that we were talking about a while ago about finding your type. And maybe this person lacks this person, like maybe they tick like 75% of their box, but there's that 25% that they're really struggling with, and they're trying to tell the person, you need to change for the better, you need to do better, but they just can't get this person to change. You just say, like, how long would you say they need to keep trying at it until they go and look for exactly what they want, a person that fits that description that they want 100%?
so I don't believe personally that there's going to be one person that would fit
Everything.
everything you want 100%. There is no human being, because humans have their own agency. No human being is made for another human being. In that way, I exist with all my baggage, my in sociology we call it a mental schema. There's a way I've grown up. There's a way I will see the world. Even if we're from the same country, our cultures in our family would be different. So because of all these factors, we are always going to have things that will be different. And so because of that, there would never be a person that would 100 that you would not find an issue with. So because of that, the question is how much, like I like the word you used earlier, how much am I willing to commit to making this particular thing work? Is this person worth my commitment? So how I view it is, I find this person, I'm choosing to commit myself to this person regardless of what I find. It is a scary thought,
It's a very scary thought.
but that is the whole point of the commitment.
I think if relationships and dating is taught in this way, less people get into relationships. Because then you realize that if I'm choosing to call you my partner, I'm choosing you on all your flaws. But I think nowadays what's happening is that people go into relationships thinking that they can just have their way. Like they're trying to get someone that fits into that box 100%. And the moment they find out that you don't, they
Yeah.
easily exit. But if relationship is taught in this way, to say that if you're going to get into a relationship, so not even marriage, just to get into a relationship with someone, you need to make up your mind that I'm committed to being this, in good and in bad. So I'm committed to seeing you grow. I'm committed to seeing you change. It might not be exactly what I want right now, but I'm committed to your growth. That's a huge commitment for somebody.
Again,
For dating. Because
Like,
marriage, you can say that, but that's a huge commitment for dating.
of course, the level of commitment for dating and marriage.
And again, please, guys, don't to just give it on that context in case you missed it. I'm not talking about abuse, waiting for the person to change with abuse or infidelity. No, I'm talking about the little things.
Yeah.
The little things or the small things. How much are you committed to making
So
that thing work?
I would say again, what I'm thinking about now is that there are different levels of commitment. So for marriage is deeper and way more involved. But I still think we should see even the dating phase as that level of, there should be a deeper level of commitment. And where I feel like most people have issues with when it comes to dating, because I used to also, is that I'm coming into the relationship to fulfill my own certain kind of wants or needs,
My desires,
my desires. I want this person
to
to
feel
feel me, and it doesn't work like
it's
that.
selfish. It's mostly selfish.
But that's not how most humans are selfish in and by themselves. So if everybody is going into it to get something
Personal
out
gain.
of it, it's never really going to work. Most relationships that work is where people come into it thinking about how much they are willing to give towards it,
not receive.
And that's why I think about, that's one of the other reasons why I would always say my faith plays a huge part in it. I'm not saying now that people who don't share this faith don't feel the same way, but for me, that's where I see that kind of understanding from. Where even in Christianity, the fact is that that God is the one that moved towards us first. He's the one that made the first move and committed himself to us. And so we're just responding or reciprocating that commitment that he has made to us. So when I picture it like that and I move that into relationships, I start to think about it that same way, where I am committing myself to this person, committing to their growth, committing to their change, and then saying, especially in marriage now, I'm trusting that God is working in them. And so because of that, I would I will learn to be more patient, more gracious. Not saying now this is not a magic pill that solves all your problems. You are going to still have fights and issues and all those things, they will be there. But I've come to see that living life like that, it just helps you live freely. Not to sound too scriptural, but if you read Ephesians chapter 5, he's talking about how marriage purifies. And every time I've read it, I've just, what does it mean? And when we think about purification, sometimes people just think it's just that cleaning. No, it's that chiseling. It's hard. When you imagine how gold is purified or diamond, it's really not easy, but it's worth it at the end.
Yeah, I think it's easy for us to say because we are talking from marriage, but I think in dating, I'm thinking of myself. Like before I got married, it was hard. It's mostly hard to get into a relationship without having this selfish vendetta behind it. Because every time we look at somebody and you're like, I want to date this person, it's because you see that that person somehow fits into your life and somehow is going to satisfy a need. It might not be completely like selfish to the extreme of, oh, all I'm going to do is gain from this person. This person never going. I'm never going to pour into this person. No, but to some extent, you can see that this person is going to add some value to my life, and so I want to be a part of that person's life to add value too. So I think the struggle will be with the amount of commitment that you are talking about. It requires a huge level of commitment for just dating. Because I mean, the way I see, like, okay, not dating now, let me move. I don't know what to call it. Like the phase, you're not dating multiple people. Like you finally found that one person that you want to stay in a relationship with, but you're not married either. What's that part called?
I just call that dating. Man, I don't know.
Because dating in a relationship, that's too long a sentence. There should be a word for it. Because dating to me
is it courtship? What people?
Yeah, courtship. But most times people say courtship as like, yeah, leading to marriage. Like you're definitely gonna marry this person, so you guys are just courting. But okay, let's just call it courting for the purpose of this video, courting, right? So you find that one person after dating a couple of people, and you find out, okay, this is the person I want to to build a relationship with, and then you get into a relationship with that person, and then you're caught in that person, and then you find out there's some things about that person that you're not exactly comfortable with. I don't know. It's just hard to lay aside like your own needs and then say, I'm going to wait for this person to change if you're not completely convinced that this person is going to be your husband. Because at the end of the day, even when you're courting, it's not like you are sure that I'm going to marry this person. You're just still courting to get to know the person better to then decide. So if I keep giving my time, if I follow you and your advice that you're giving, and I keep giving my time to one person believing that he will change, but then he never does, and we've been together for 5 years and still he doesn't change. And now I want to get married, but now he's not even asking me to marry him, and he's still not the person I want him to be. So that's the struggle for me. Where is the point? Is still like where's the point at which we realize that okay, this person is not gonna change. This person is gonna be the way they are, and I need to wake up and I need to get out of that situation. I have a lot of I have a lot of friends that have been in that kind of situation where I've given my time to this person. I have loved this person. I have trusted and been patient with this person to say, I am committed to your growth and I want to see you change. But then we've been together for such a long time and this change is not happening. So the question is now for that person, do I just give up on this and leave? Or at what point is it enough and I need to go? Or do I just need to keep waiting for the change to happen?
So
some people just never, honestly, I get it and I get the philosophy and I get I mean, I'm a Christian too. So yes, I believe that people change and I'm constantly changing every day. Jesus Christ is constantly renewing me from the inside out. But there are some people that there's some aspects of their lives that they're like, they get coconutted. They just don't change. Like, honestly, I'm talking from a very personal point of view because I know people that are in this kind of situations. And it's like, this person is not changing. And me, if looking from the outside in, I can see that, yeah, just this guy is not, I don't think is the one for you. I think you need to go. But then for that person, what's the time limit? When do I tell her that, okay, I think 3 years is now enough. You need to get out.
So again, what are before you even start dating a person, the first question you should ask yourself is, what are the certain values that this person has that align with your values? So if one of those things are a core value, then yes, by all means, all of these things are not just building up of nothing. You don't just find anybody and then you hope that they change eventually. Before you even make that kind of commitment to a person, there are certain, criteria that we would look at the level of, like I said, the values that you're looking at, So what are the shared values you have with this person? And are those values enough? What are those core values that you're having with this person? We call them non-negotiables. So once those non-negotiables are met, every other thing kind of starts to take shape after that. That's my point. That's the only point I'm making. That from your core values, every other thing after that kind of is shaky. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what are the things that I am not willing to negotiate on? And then once you have that, then you move from that. That's my point.
So if the other things are secondary, like you can't negotiate on those things, then you can go ahead. Yes. Okay, so
yes,
I think this is a question that I can also bring up in our future conversations with like older couples because they might have had like experiences.
More experience, yeah.
But because I was thinking, some things are not part of your non-negotiables, but they just really irritate you. Those kind of things, like, it's not like it's what leaving the relationship for, but it's something that in the future it can just frustrate you and just drain the life out of you. And in those kind of situations, is it not enough to just say, I know they do? So
the thing, what I would say to that is just me speaking from my own very limited knowledge. One, where a lot of things come into play in that kind of situation would be not just looking at that person and trusting that person, but I'm looking at the journey they're on with God and say, okay, I'm not just going to trust them. I'm also going to trust that God is working with them. And God, I trust you with my life. I trust you with their life. And I know that you are moving us towards something. That's where it boils down to for me, is that I stop looking at their own ability, because humans, we are flawed and would always keep making mistakes. So I start to say, you know what, God, I'm going to trust you with this person's life. I'm going to, and that's where the faith aspect of relationship
I
comes
think
in.
for us it's because we've never known any other thing aside our faith. It's like this is how we grew up, so this is how we even choose our partners.
That's how I'm able to interpret life.
This is how I'm able to choose a partner. If I'm looking at somebody then saying I want to build a life with this person, first and foremost, the most important thing to me is are you part of my faith? Like, do you believe in Jesus? And then from there I can see what are your core values, and then from there I can keep like building it up from there, and then it makes sense. But I guess I don't know how like other people will be able
so
to.
at this point we can ask, for those people who are not Christians, or people who have for those people who are not Christians and we don't have that kind of shared value, what would be the kind of things that you particularly are looking for to,
and what would you use as your yardstick to judge if this person is a potential partner for life partner, or you need to break up with this person? Because for us, I mean, we can only talk as Christians because these are the things we look out for. Does he believe in Jesus Christ? What are his core values? And then we can build up from there. But for those people that are not Christians, how are you able to discern and say, okay, this person is good for me and I want to be the life of this person, or this person is not? So would like to hear those. I'd really love to hear them.
Honestly, if I'm being honest, we have our conversations are always with a certain kind of lens, in quotes. We have a certain kind of way that we view the world, and that is through our Christian faith. And we would definitely I
would really love to be a part of that conversation. I would really, really love to be a part of that conversation. I want to know how it feels to live your life and see things from your lens, and get how you judge life. So that would be nice. Anyway, this was a very heavy conversation. I was thinking it was going to be very light.
We started off laughing at the beginning.
Yeah, but then it ended up being really heavy, and then I ended up talking about sex. Wow.
Lucas, now we know where your mind is at.
I'm not ashamed of the gospel.
What? No.
Of the gospel. I mean the gospel, like the gospel of Jesus Christ. I don't mean what you are thinking. It's you that needs to renew your mind. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Merry Christmas, guys. What are your plans for Christmas? Are you going to fry chicken? Are you going to invite people over? Have you put up your Christmas tree? We've still not put up our Christmas tree. I'm ashamed of us, but we'll do it this week.
I'm definitely not ashamed.
I'm very ashamed because our house looks like it's not Christmas. We've not put up any decorations yet, but we will do that this week and we'll carry you guys along. So thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.